My final point was strengthening democracy through what I called representational bureaucracy. Organizations tend to be more effective when they look more like their clientele, in this case, the United States. Citizens often respond more positively to governments that have members of their group and that look like them. And that's what we call representational bureaucracy. If the citizen population is all of one group in the region, while the governing population is all of another group, there's going to be suspicion of discrimination even if nothing specific happens. Representative bureaucracy means that government looks like the citizen population they serve. Now, we do have a bit of an issue on this at CSUSB. Over the past decade, the student population has grown to be more and more Hispanic, but the faculty population who's been here for a long time is preponderantly white. One of our hiring goals is to encourage non-white persons to apply for faculty job openings, but this ends up being a very slow process, and the number of qualified PhDs from various minority groups is often small, and it's a very competitive market. Until this whole social system catches up, it's going to be a slow evolution. This concept of representative bureaucracy is challenging to many in public administration because it implies that only a person who shares your demographic characteristics can fairly and effectively serve you. And it tends to focus on some differences and not other differences. A representative bureaucracy may demonstrate a lack of discrimination, but as a philosophy, it sort of runs counter to our ethic of unbiased treatment of everybody. Why can't I serve people who are different than me? But the fact is that different citizen groups often respond better to those they feel understand their situation, to those who are like them. The existence of diversity in the United States is a reality. The management goal is to develop leaders that understand differences, that understand feelings of marginalization, meaning people feeling left out. And the effective leader is going to integrate different perspectives without favoring one over another. The way people change over time is often through training or education. Diversity training can be divided into two categories. First, general employees, and second, managers or supervisors. We've already mentioned a bit about training managers. Training frontline employees can sometimes be a little bit sensitive. When you have training that focuses on something like getting to know a particular group, it sometimes is presented titled Celebrating Diversity. And I want you to know that in general, I don't feel the concept of diversity is in and of itself right or wrong. It's a neutral fact. Places either are or are not diverse. I take a pragmatic approach that says diversity is a reality in our world, and that diversity has elements that can be productive and can be non-productive. It's not productive to discriminate. You're limiting the pool of talent available to you. It is productive and efficient to integrate different ideas and to encourage innovation. Emphasizing the characteristics of one or several groups may be seen as favoring those groups over others. And my personal feeling is that groups can be encouraged to have celebrations of their own and invite others, but to have the organization impose cultural exposures separate from work-related issues may cause resentment and emphasize division. And you'll end up hearing comments like, why do they have a celebration and we don't? Such celebrations, should be encouraged to be held by employee groups, but I don't think they should be mandated by the organization. My opinion. Diversity training for employees is something that should be thought through very carefully. It's good to have cross-cultural communications training and dealing with different people training and how to deal with complaints. But for management to push celebrating a certain specific group can have those unintended negative consequences. So it's really something to think about and plan carefully. I want you to start thinking about your diversity management plan. There's several activities that will help you frame it. A workforce utilization analysis compares current employee demographics to the available qualified citizen demographics. You've already read about diversity audits. A diversity audit looks at how the organization is currently dealing with diversity issues. You've read about the law. All these elements are the foundation of a diversity policy. You start from there to propose what should be done. As usual, we have a lot of readings. Don't get intimidated. Manage your time. Devote those 6 to 7 hours to the readings. And if you have to move to scan mode to get through them, fine. But make sure you at least go through each one. There's one Rice chapter, and then I divide the rest of the readings into categories of management efficiency, representative bureaucracy, and action. There's a couple discussion board threads this week. First one is going to be on asking you to share diversity management practices that you've experienced in your organizations. How effective do you think they were? What were they, and why do you call them even diversity management? We want to think about the effectiveness of diversity policies and not just do them to do them. So we're going to consider what makes an effective policy. The second thread is just going to be to share your reactions to the various readings as we usually do. And as always, please email your reflective journal to me by Sunday night. Thanks.